What's good? What's good? What's good? Hey, y'all know what it is. This is your boy Trey, my man's Bishop. We are First Formation Morning Sports Talk. What's going on with y'all this morning? What's good with you, Bishop?
WGO, what's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing on this Tuesday morning? Like my man say, it is First Formation here. Sports Talk, have it on this Tuesday. Hopefully, it's my job bright eyed and bushy tail, ready to get this day started, man. What? How was your Monday night, Trey? What's good? What's good?
Nothing much, nothing much. Basically, the same old, same old. We're starting our bowling season
Yeah,
today. So yesterday was me planning that and getting that going and stuff like that. I still got some stuff to do. A couple of things still left out to take care of, but for the most part, it's going to go on. So that was the majority of my day running around. Saying life of a sports specialist.
okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, same thing. I'm just about to get prepared to leave tomorrow morning to head out to Mexico. So yeah, I ain't got a whole lot going on, man. Chilling like a villain.
Mm-hmm.
Got to go on. You know what I'm saying?
Uh, yeah, little two
That's
kids.
everybody else doing. Hopefully,
Yeah,
everybody's enjoying.
you don't worry about upstairs, then. Just the
Man,
bathroom upstairs. Yeah,
we doing that.
yeah, it's two bathrooms. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I got going through doing some exterminating. Uh, but yeah, Mexico. So how? What's this? The third, fourth trip to Mexico?
Third, I think, maybe third. Oh, it might be four. I don't know. We done been a few times, man. We done been a few times, but yeah, we're going out there, hang out for a few days. Like I said, we come back on Monday. Um, So yeah, I'll probably miss the show tomorrow, and I'll probably miss the show on Monday because I'm sure we leaving first thing in the morning, popping smoke to get back here. So, but I'll be on Thursday and Friday. Yeah, but yeah, man, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
So as we do a little shift. Oh, you know what I seen yesterday? We do a little shift. We start to transverse as we know. Our beloved football season. I mean, we do basketball, of course, but football for us is where it's at. We start to do a little transition period. So, do you know that? Interestingly enough, if the SEC and the Big Ten shift with USC, Texas, Oklahoma, and UCLA was starting this season, do you know that it would be um, only two Big Five uh, conferences that would have a winning bowl season record if they did that shift now?
Mm. No, I wouldn't. Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
Yes, it was interesting. It's very interesting to where if if that happened, yes, the bowl record would be. Hold on. If that shift was to have happened, the Power Five conferences post records would be the SEC would be 364, 304, and 16. The Big Ten would be 260, 258, and 6. The ACC would be 221, 221, and 5. The Pac 12 would be 129, 131, and 5, and the Big 12 would be 146, 171, and 4.
Mm.
If that was going on this year. So take care. Thank you, sir. So it would be it's a situation basically where you look at it like it's almost saying that USC, UCLA, Big Ten, uh, and those other teams, Texas and that other team, basically holds the has the majority or has a vast majority of champions. I mean, postseason wins for those conference for their respective conferences in which they're leaving. But also, what that says to me in a sense is the win loss records is probably bad for everybody at this point. Hold on 1 second.
Bad in what way? What up, Anthony Price? What's good? Any other shirt in your house you wear a Lakers jersey? Shaking my head. I'm just kidding. Morning. What up? What up? What up? You know he. It was a matter of time. You knew he was about to throw on a Lakers jersey here. For so, yeah, like I'm surprised it took this long. To be honest with you, especially being that they didn't even win the play in, they didn't even make it in. But he gonna throw on a Lakers jersey. It's crazy, bro. Like I have no idea why he threw that nonsense on, bro. But it is what it is. You know how some people are, man. They just try to be relevant when it comes to their team or whatever. And we all know the Lakers are irrelevant. But anywho, with anywho, let me give y'all a little something, man. I've been trying to get y'all. So we talked about it, some of the things. Well, let's talk NFL actually real quick. We talked about a few things, man. And one in regards to the Madden ratings, which is about to come out. The Madden is coming out next month. We got a little more than maybe 2 weeks before. It actually shows its face, and I know I've come through a few of the Madden ratings, but right now it's one that I know I think I went through a few of them. Um, but I'm gonna bring one to the table for y'all, man. That that y'all probably hadn't seen. You know what I'm saying? Give y'all what y'all want. You know what I'm saying? The Madden ratings of defensive lineman power moves. The defensive lineman power moves. I'm gonna let y'all see what that is, man. And if I can get this to do what I want it to do, let's see. Let's see. I don't know why it does this, but either way, let's go. Madden top 10 power moves. All right, so here we go. Here you have it. Top 10 defensive lineman power moves. At number 10, they have Leonard Williams at an 85. At number 9, they have your boy, Fletcher Cox at 85 from my beloved Philadelphia Eagles. Number 8, we have Grady Jarrett at 86. Jeffrey Simmons at 88. Number 6, we have Akeem Hicks at 89. At number 5, we have Vita V at 90. At number 4, we have Jonathan Allen at 91. At number 3, we have Cameron Hayward at a 95. At number 2, we have Chris Jones at 96. And good morning, Joseph. And could anybody else figure Aaron Donald at number 99 or number 1, but at a 99 overall rating? So this is the top 10 defensive lineman power moves in regards to Madden's 2023 Madden ratings going into the game in about 2 weeks, in which I was talking about prior to earlier. We also move right along and show you, since we have those, let me go on over to these other cats, man. Since we had that, we might as well go ahead and show you these other cats, man. Let's go ahead and show you the ooh, no, don't do me like that. The 10 edge rushers in Madden 2023 that's about to take place. So as you can see, the top 10 edge rushers power moves. At number 10, we have Joey Bosa at a rating of 87. We have his brother, Nick Bosa, right above him, also rated at an 87. I don't know how they determine who was number 9 and who was number 10, but either way, maybe they went in numerical order. I don't know, but it's J is before N anyway, so it couldn't have been. I said numerical order, in alphabetical order. But maybe I see Nick is before him, so they couldn't have done that either. But either way, we have number 8, Zadarius Smith, with an overall rating of 88. We have number 7, J. Watt at number 80 as a rating of 88. We have Khalil Mack at 89 at number 6. We have Cameron Jordan at number 5 with a rating of 90. We have number 4, Rashawn Gary, with a rating of 91. We have that Super Bowl champion of Von Miller with a rating of 93 at number 3. Number 2,
Mhm.
we have Chandler Jones with the overall rating of 94. And the number 1 top 10 edge rushers for Madden 2023 comes out in a few weeks. It is that bad man Miles Garrett at an overall rating of 98. Let me hear y'all thoughts. What do y'all think about that, man? I just gave y'all the edge rushers as well as the top 10 defensive linemen overall rating. Anthony Price was this list must not be from last year's stats. It has to be from last year's stats. They got to go from last year's stat. AP. They can't go from anything else. What they can't go from 10 years ago or 5 years ago, and they can't go from upcoming. This is just what they have to be going off of last year's stats to put these guys in the ratings in the rating part. I know a lot of y'all probably feel like there's some individuals missing. I know y'all feel like that. I know. Maybe on the edge rushers, maybe on the defensive linemen. What are y'all thoughts, man? Tell me what you think. What do you think, Trey? How do you feel about the top edge rushers, top 10 edge rushers and their ratings? Or what do you feel about the top or what do you think about the top 10 defensive linemen and their ratings?
So of course, obviously, you're going to have in any case. I think, and to answer Anthony's question, I think it's more of a situation to where they're looking at last year's stats and presumably what is going to happen this year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that could be a sense of why, like we thought, we've seen the conversations where someone like JJ Watt is basically he has been working on his body. And so, saying so it's like a hand in hand thing when we talk about the tops because it's like yes, we're talking about Madden, but the ratings are built on the real life player, and with that real life player, the things have to happen. And so, if of course, if a player isn't available, then of course a reduction in points maybe because they're not going to have a full season to build on. So it's definitely go off of last year's stats. So of course, that being said, unfortunately, uh, Aaron Donald is definitely where he's supposed to be at. Um, I don't know about the Bosa brothers.
Now,
Um,
mind you,
I think the
wait,
younger ones is better
but mind you, Trey. Now, this is just these are edge rushers in regards
for
to
the
power
power moves. Okay,
moves. Yeah,
okay,
not
yeah,
necessarily. Overall, we're just talking about power moves, being able to overpower their opponent to get to the quarterback or to get to the
yeah.
running back.
Okay, it's suitable
You want
then.
to look at my man Sweat not on there again, Anthony. This is power moves. These were power moves for edge rushers. Now we can keep going. Like there's numerous things of just to give you an example. There's numerous other things that they could do that they got them rated at. But let me show you this: the top 10 cornerbacks in NFL ratings in catching. Number 10, we got Ronald Darby. He's a 77 overall and catching as a cornerback. We have Rasul Douglas at 78. We have Kawan Williams at a 79 at number 8. We have that bad man, Slugger, where you at? You know about Darius Slay. He picked you off 3 times on Mad. So 79 at number 7. At number 6, we got Patrick Peterson. We know about that boy, Pat. He had 80 overall. At number 5, we had Jalen Ramsey at number 5 at 80 overall. We have Marcus Peters at 82, number 4. We have JC Jackson, 82, number 3. We have Xavier Howard at 84 at number 2, and at number 1, Trayvon Diggs, 85, catching for Madden top 10 cornerbacks ratings. Your thoughts, Trey? Did this look about right here for catching, or you got some problems with it?
Well, so when no, so I in honestly in any case, I really don't know because of course, like you said, catching in this fact, no matter that like we don't get to see every corner with the possibility to make a play on the ball. Maybe the top five you get an opportunity to see where they get a chance to make a play on the ball. As we know, Trayvon Diggs had a immense amount of interceptions last year, but of course
You
that
did.
also turned into him being. They found that he was very aggressive, and so. But I mean, it's definitely a situation to where the developers at Madden catch the essence of that individual and try to and put a rating on certain attributes as simple as catching or the power moves in which a lot of that stuff goes into like stats and things from power pro football focus and stuff like that where they go forth and have to put a rating on people and then that takes into consideration but it's kind of hard when you look at it. Like, how many times do you see Rasul Douglas try to make a play at a ball, or I mean, because they're not always in situations where the catch is it's a clean possibility at a catch. They're like even fighting for the ball, a catch off the ricochet, um, and things like that. So we know Jalen Ramsey, he's a good defender, but like, how many times have we seen a drop ball? Marcus Peters, same thing. J.C. Jackson, but for the most part, I think they're what's that catch rating? Okay, yeah. So I think it works for the most part. Corners, they ain't not necessarily got to catch the ball. Is catching a large attribute for a corner? You think? Do you want a
Yeah.
catching corner or a corner that could defend, or you want a corner
So
that can catch the ball?
I want one who can do both. I want them both. I want a corner who can be versatile, man. I really
Hmm.
do. I want a versatile corner who can be able to do both. When it's all said and done, because yeah, I want to be if the ball's thrown, because we know what turnovers decides a great deal of games, man. A great
Defense
deal of
win
games.
ball games.
Yeah. So if you could turn the ball over, if you can catch the ball on the first down on when they try to catch us off guard on a pass play, when we may have thought they was running, and you catch it and get an interception, that's huge. That's the 3 less plays that offense had a chance to try and score and put points on the board.
So it's
And
interesting you say that.
we possibly could put points on the board because of the fact that of the turnover, because we know turnover points are huge.
So it's interesting you say that. So like you said, to catch, but would you prefer a player that can, like you just said, catch the ball and eliminate those 3 plays, or would you prefer to have a player that can defend those 3 plays, which is more likely to happen if you think of it? But I mean, it's just when you said that, I was like, I don't know. I mean, yes, you want to. The turnover is huge. Like, if you could get the turnover, that is
Yes.
huge. But what if you can't get the turnover? Would you prefer a player to, if you had to choose, if you was drafting and you had a player that could defend for three downs without a
Mhm.
reasonable doubt, or someone that, if given the opportunity, they can make a play on the ball, secure the ball, and give you plays back on your offense? Which one, or if you had to choose between the two, Which one are you going towards?
I still feel like I'm gonna have to stick with what my answer is. I'm still gonna have to pick one who can do both, because if you look at it right here go the same corner. Here go corners who can cover man coverage. As you can see, the number one now is Jalen Ramsey at a 98 overall, where he was a number 5. When we look up, he was a number 5 at catching. So this raised questions though. So he's 5 at catching, but he's 1 at man coverage. Jair Alexander, I don't even was he on this one? Jair Alexander, he not
No,
even
he
on here.
sucks. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So it's clear. It's clear that there's a lot of people that can't do both. So it's like,
Right.
which one is more important? That's why I'm asking.
But
Like, which
Jalen
one is more
can.
important?
But see, Jalen can. Jalen Ramsey, my pure example. So me personally, I'm taking Jalen Ramsey. I'm taking Darius Slay because both of them were on there. And I think that J.C. Jackson, I think he was on there too. J.C. Jackson was on the one. J.C. Jackson on, yeah. J.C. Jackson number 3. So them 3 right there are top corners right there off the rip, because they can cover and they can catch.
True, but those are only 3 people. If you're not in the top 5, you're not getting those players. So that's why I asked the question. Like, those are. So
Fact.
if
So you think if they're
yeah,
not in the
so
top
yeah, if
five,
they're yeah, so if
they're
give it
top
like,
five.
if you had, that's what I'm saying. If you had to choose, which one are you choosing? A coverage corner or a catching corner? True that, Stan. I think the same thing. I mean, like you said, ideally that's what you want. It's no different than a speed receiver or a possession receiver. Some of you don't have the same in one and same, but if you got to choose, are you taking a catching corner or a coverage corner? Because the coverage corner is probably going to lock down. It's going to
That's
lock
hard.
down that coverage, that possession receiver. Maybe,
Well,
what I'm saying, will you lock it up?
right. Well, it all depends on what you got on your other corner too, though. Because
Okay,
if you should
okay.
have
You want to have you
corner,
want to have you want to have a different. I
one
mean,
of
a balance.
yeah, balance. You want to be able to have a two-headed monster. So if you have a catch corner on one side and you have a corner on the other side, that's cool. You
Or
know what I'm
even
saying?
better. or even better, what would you prefer at your nickel? A catching corner or
A cover corner.
a
At my
corner
nickel,
a cover
a
you
cover
want
corner. Yeah,
okay,
at my
okay,
nickel.
okay. Well, a cover corner at the nickel.
Because because at the nickel, I feel like the cover corner, I would prefer him to be able to not, because depending on, because the
Cover
nickel
the
not
intermediate
right, and the
slot.
nickel, yeah, nine times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, the nickel's gonna cover more ground, have to cover more ground compared to the regular corners. You know what I'm saying? So I personally would prefer man coverage on for my nickel. Revis Island, absolutely. Revis Island. That's a good point, Anthony. Revis Island, shut down corner. He may not catch everything, but that he gonna shut down everything. He gonna shut it down for you. You know what I'm saying? He gonna shut it down without question, man. Um, hold on. There's another one here I wanted to show y'all too. Oh, that was the corners. Where's this other one at? Oh, just remember I told you. Okay, this was the top defensive lineman power moves, and which Trey was talking about earlier. But this was power moves. Defensive lineman power moves, as you see right here, top defensive lineman block shedding. Again, Aaron Donald is number one. Number two is Cameron Hayward. Number three is Vita Vea. Kenny Clark is at number 4 with a 91. Donald was at a 97. Hayward was at a 95. Vea was at a 92. Akeem Hicks is a 90 at number 5. Michael Pierce is the 90 at number 6. Calais Campbell's at 89 at number 7. Jeffrey Simmons is at 88 at number 8. DJ Reader is at 88 at number 9. And DeForest Buckner is 87 at number 10. So once again, we right back at what we so that was the block shedding and power moves. As you can see, there's Cameron Haywood, Aaron Donald, Vita Vea. I think of Akeem Hicks. Was it Akeem? Yeah, Akeem Hicks are the only ones that are on the both charts for top power moves as well as block shedding. And then we have the defensive lineman strength. Look who's at number 1 again. Aaron Donald, 99. Vita Vea, number 2 at 98. Jeffrey Simmons, number 3 at 87. Jordan Davis, he ain't even played. So that raises the question that goes back to you, Anthony Price. Jordan Davis hasn't even played an NFL down yet. However, he's in the top 10 in strength at 96 overall at number 4. Kenny Clark, number 5 at 96. Deron Payne, number 6 at a 95. Number 7, Matthew, what is his name? Ladonis, 95. Number 8, Fletcher Cox. We got 2 Eagles in there. The Fletcher Cox is a 94. Cameron Hayward again. He's in there again at 94 at number 9. And rounding out the top 10 is Michael Pierce, a 94 at a rating at 94 at number 10. So I see Washington on the list. We good. Both DT unstoppable. Yeah. You know. We'll see how they do in the season though. But that's strength. Okay, and here go the corners overall, Trey. So now we're talking overall. So this is just the overall corners in regards to, Madden ratings. Number 1, Jalen Ramsey, 98. Jair Alexander, number two at 94. Tre'Davious White, 93, number 3. Denzel Ward, number 4 with a 92. Darius Slay, number 5 at a 92. Marshawn Lattimore, number 6 at a 91. Stephon Gilmore, number 7 at a 91. J.C. Jackson, number 8 at a 90. Marion Humphrey, number 9 at a 90. And A.J. Terrell Jr. at an 89 at number 10. So there go your corners right there. That's the overall, Trey. With Jalen Ramsey right there again. Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, Denzel Ward. I think them and J.C. Jackson once again. I think them 4 that was on all the cornerbacks list for catching, man coverage, and overall. Your thoughts? Defensive lineman overall. Go ahead. What
No,
you say?
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Defensive lineman overall. Aaron Donald, number 1. At 99, Cameron Harewood. Number 2, 93, Vita Veda. Number 3, 893, Jonathan Allen. Number 4 at 92, Chris Jones. 91 at number 5, DeForest Buckner. Number 6 at 90, Kenny Clark. 89 at number 7, Jeffrey Simmons. Number 8 at 88, Fletcher Cox. Number 9 at 88, and Michael Pierce. Number 10 at 88, overall defensive lineman. Again, Aaron Donald, top in the list with Cameron Hayward, Vea, um, Fletcher Cox, all these guys on here again. Woo. Brah, 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 brah. Brah, brah, brah.
So if y'all when did they already pre-orders already went out, or when does the Madden get released?
Yeah, the pre-orders already out. The Madden comes out. I think you can get it early release for those who pre-ordered the certain one there because it was like 3 different versions. One you can get if you order a certain one, you can get it I think it's August 15th. The original drop date is the 18th, but if you order it earlier, the limited edition or whatever, you get it on the 15th of August. Gives you 3 days to play it before everybody else.
So with
So,
like I said, with the little transition going to a different start off, as we know, we start to transition more into the NFL. And with that being said, Bishop, do you know that the NFL is now has its own streaming subscription,
mhm. Yeah, I
NFL
saw that.
Plus, in which NFL Plus gives you the freedom to watch live out of market preseason games, live local and primetime regular season games, live local and postseason games, all from your phone, your tablet, or whatever device in which you choose, as well as some of the best programming from the on demand programming. So, is this a subscription, Bishop, in which you're thinking about partaking of, or I mean, I know you always talk about a person. I don't know for whatever reason that doesn't like Red Zone. I, I'm
I
just
don't say
gonna say,
I
well,
won't say I don't like it. Red zone is good for fantasy. If you're a fantasy player, red zone is great for that because you get to see your players that you may have drafted on your fantasy team to see if they're putting points up for you on the board. So yes, red zone is good for fantasy. As far as red zone for watching football, just watching football, no. I don't
that's
I
where
don't want to
Bishop is the
see
get off my lawn guy.
I don't want to yeah, I don't want to see how I don't want to see just when you in the red zone. I want to see how you got there. Like big plays happen before you get to the red zone. What
And they
about the big
show that.
70?
They show that
The
if
70
it
yeah, no, but why
they
you
show
showing
that
that? That means but why you showing me that? I may have missed another 50-yard touchdown in another game. I don't want to miss that.
unless
I want to see
unless
it all.
at which I know Stanton is about to respond. Unless you got 6 TVs, which every after market of those markets going, you're going to miss that anyway.
No, I'm not.
Because
No, I'm not. Because
Rod,
I get mine.
that's
Get off
that's
my line.
that that's the guy. He's the get off my line guy, Rod. I swear, he's the
No,
get off.
that is not me. I'm saying I get mine. I'm gonna watch mine. I'm gonna watch because I can, you know what I'm saying? I had TVs in 6 different rooms.
See, I told you this is a Stanton. This dude goes to the room. He doesn't miss. He
No,
goes from
man.
room to room to room.
I do. I do. I was over to be able to overlook my balcony. I was able to, if y'all don't stop, man, I was able to overlook the balcony and watch the big TV. I was able to watch the big TV over the balcony or
Set your desk
yeah,
up so you can watch your 3 monitors on the desk.
yep. And then I could watch 2 TVs in my loft. I had a TV in the loft. I had 2 TVs in the loft. I had a Sooner and a Texas because my wife's a Texas fan. So I had a Sooner side and a Texas side. So I watched 2 TVs. Then I had a theater room TV. So that was a game. That was a game where my big games where I watched that at big games. And then I had a TV in one of the guest rooms that I could go in there and watch a game in there. So yeah, didn't even
He
have
got
to
a he
say
got a little a golf cart where he can ride through the wings to have that stadium feel.
Anywho, man, that's what I would do, man. So I would try and catch all the games, man, especially in my area. No, I know I'm not gonna be able to watch every game because all the games ain't all in my area to be able to watch. But I would catch pretty much the ones I truly, really wanted to watch, including college. Because college, college got good games going on all the time on Saturday. You can catch a Big 12 big game. You can catch a Big 10 big game. You can catch a SEC big game. Ain't no Pac-12 big games, but anywhere, all them other games you can catch. Not everyone has 10 TV. I didn't have 10 TVs, bro. I just said 6. What did you talking about? Where you add 4 more TVs at, bro?
It's what I understand, Ron. It's what he's not saying. We're hearing what he's saying, but it's what he's not saying that we're picking up on.
Man, just happy to be blessed to be able to be capable to do something similar to that, man. Not everyone has 10 TVs. Ron, there you go. It is not implied, Miller Stanton. Stop it. It is not
Yeah,
implied that I have
that's how you get
big
down,
TV.
Ron. Golf cart to the different wings. That's how you basically rose to get from point A to point B. Um,
Not even
interesting,
close.
interesting that we're talking about the college football and stuff because what we have here, Murray signed a $230 million
That's
extension.
right. Boom soon. Let's go. Only
But
quarterback in history to have 70 touchdowns and 20 rushing touchdowns in 3 seasons. Let's
mhm,
go. Let's
mhm,
do it.
mhm.
What we talking about?
Gotta
And
love
he
them
don't.
those individual accolades.
Hey,
But
it is what it is. It is what it is.
But what additionally has come about is Murray has a stipulation in his contract. He
And
has a
I
stipulation where he has to.
Kingsbury, you need to be slapped in the face with a damn uh, tortilla. You need to be slapped in the face with a tortilla, a flour tortilla for this nonsense that y'all don't put this clause on this man.
They just set up and Kyler Murray has to
Yeah,
complete.
I heard
He
that.
has
Yeah,
to have 4 hours of independent study every week in which the season is going on. So the season is considered from the first Monday after the close of training camp to the very last game of the season, whether it be regular season or preseason. Where he has to every week he has to commit to 4 hours of independent studies. Those studies, of course, has to be done by him. Whether it's basically what I'm hearing, Bishop, is the maturity thing that we talked about at the beginning of the year. That
that's
he was
disrespect.
immature. He wasn't paying attention to game film and wasn't watching it, and so now they have to put in a stipulation for this young man to get his money.
No, that's
This simple.
if I throw that shit in their face, I ain't gonna lie.
Or don't get signed, don't get signed. You don't get the money
somebody
if
else will
he
sign. You act like he gonna be
if
on
he
the free
vi-
market.
if
You
he
act like
violates. You say you act like he's gonna be on the market.
you act like if he if
Ain't no
if
one
he if
else.
he don't sign with you crazy.
Ain't
You
nobody
out your
else.
rabbit. You know what?
Ain't
It would
nobody else.
you know what? It would be a sure possibility that if he didn't get signed, that the San Francisco 49ers would pick him up to take up over for Trey Lance spot.
That was not
That
going to
part.
happen.
That part.
We are very
That
confident in Trey Lance at this point.
no, y'all not. No, y'all are not confident in Trey Lance. No,
We are very
no,
confident in Trey Lance at this
don't
part.
tell that lie. Don't tell that lie. The devil is a lie. No, y'all are not.
So
But that is very disrespectful to Kyler
is it?
Murray.
Why?
No one's ever heard those
They're
nonsense.
protecting.
No
So what you're
foolery.
telling me? What you're telling
No,
me is, if you were the
no.
GM, you would protect your investment by ensuring that investment
They're
does
not
exactly
doing it to
what it has to
nobody else.
do.
They're not doing
Because he's the only one that we has been rumored to show the
it. What?
propensity not to be engaged into what he's supposed to be into. So the
No.
stipulation always puts out that he cannot be doing anything
How
during
many
these
other
4 hours
in the
of.
league that had a worse season than Kyler Murray?
So I don't think the season is the problem. It's the fact of
So what are you
his.
basing it on then? So what are you basing it on?
They're basing it on the fact that he's not mature and he doesn't do what he's supposed to
But what are
because
you basing that on? What?
his
How are you?
actions, what they know, he's
Which
they
is what his play, right? Which is his play, right?
no, not his play. What he does,
What is it?
his preparation.
Okay, but what are you basing his preparation on, though?
There, he's not watching game film. So from the stipulation,
So
it
you
says
be
that
in
he
the
has
game film room and not watching them?
That's
He
what they're
just wasn't.
saying. They say he's been on the phone. He be playing games. He's like all that is written out in the
I didn't
contract.
see that. I didn't see nothing about him saying he was playing no games on no
Yeah, it's on
phone.
the contract, so it's all written out in the contract, or
He
where they
playing
put
the
the.
games on him on the phone ain't on the contract.
No, was what I'm saying. The stipulations where it says basically he cannot be. He has to be engaged with the with whatever's going on. Whether it's like he can't be watching. It's like he can't have the video up. You know how you watch your 10 TVs, so he can't watch.
No,
He
you
can't
don't. 'Cause
sit.
I don't have 10. I don't. No, I don't.
You can't. If you were Kyler Murray, you can't.
Y'all see how you try to throw that in there? That
You
is not
can't
slick.
watch. You can't sit up and be watching the game film here and be grabbing your phone to respond to a message and be playing the game. You can't and be playing Madden while the game tape is going. He
Bro,
needs to. He needs to
you're not
study.
going to get listen to this, right? This is the problem I have with the whole situation, right?
Okay.
You're not going to get me to believe that a Heisman Trophy winner has a poor work ethic. You're not. You're not going to get me to believe that. You're not going to get me to believe that a Heisman Trophy winner has a poor work ethic. That's not possible, bro. That's not possible.
Your
There's
Heisman
no
Trophy
way.
winner has support
No,
work ethic.
there's no
They have to
way.
put it in a contract.
There's
It comes from a
no
place.
way that you're a Heisman Trophy winner, not a candidate, a winner, and you have a poor work ethic. You had to win the Heisman Trophy. Don't just go to anybody, bro. That is ridiculous.
So
That
this is
the
what I would say. This is what I would.
ever, bro.
This is what I would rebuttal.
Out of here.
This is what I rebuttal with that. True enough, that is possible, but then also take in consideration that the work ethic for most are is considered to be immense. So yes, he won the Heisman Trophy based on his performance on the field, which necessarily doesn't mean that it becomes work ethic. It could have been that he was blessed or he was just better than the competition at that point.
No, really? You have to
Yeah,
have a work. No, work
you just
ethic
have
has
you have to have a work ethic, but that doesn't mean your work ethic is above reproach. It just means that you have work ethic. You just get it done. So you know what I'm saying?
but it can't be poor. It can't be a poor work
Yeah,
ethic and you win a
it,
Heisman. No, it
it
cannot.
could. I think it could. I honestly
I
think
don't.
it could be.
I don't believe that.
But then again, my
Too much behind
second
it.
point, and then that's like Anthony just said. We're talking about college compare. He's 4
I don't
years
care.
removed
This
from
is the thing.
college.
I'm not telling because I'm not. This is the thing. When it comes to you saying compare college to the NFL, that's not the comparison. We're talking about an award, the most prestigious award you can win in college football.
But we
That's
talk
what we're
about,
talking about. We're
but
talking
then
about the award itself. We're talking about what you have to do on the field to even be considered a candidate, let alone to win.
true that.
So
But now, but what I'm saying is, what I'm
work
saying.
ethic to do that. And why, if that's the case, why has no other coach said that? Mind you,
Hence
Cliff
the reason.
Kingsbury, hold on, Cliff Kingsbury was his first coach in college before
No,
Lincoln. Yes, when he was out of Texas, before he transferred
Texas
to
A&M.
Oklahoma. Yes, before he transferred to Oklahoma. Cliff Kingsbury
So
was his first coach. Why did he never say, or Lincoln Riley, why did neither one of them coaches ever say anything about Kyler Murray's work ethic? He's the second coach. Twice he
because
coached.
again, that's college. So you're telling me you went to college and you, even though you played, but you're telling me that the same student that you were in college, X amount of years after you left college, that you're the same person. That you may not.
What's it
You
got to do with
evolve.
work ethic, though?
So what I'm saying is that he is not like he's 4 years as a professional. His work ethic might have changed, especially when you're not being pressured or you're not being pressed, and you sit up and have done things like you won a Heisman Trophy and you're 2-time Pro Bowler. If you sit up and you continue to do the things that if you feel like that you have done enough to get these accolades, then you might feel like okay, I'm good. I don't have to do nothing else. Remember, the organization said that this is what they asked from. They asked for more maturity from their starting quarterback, and that's what when you look at the contract, this is what it tells you. This is what it's saying that he's not mature. He's not looking at the game film while the game film is going. He's not paying attention. So they had to lay these things out in the contract to stipulations because if he is in violation of any of the stipulations or any of these things, he defaults on the contract, and now his contract is gone.
But y'all still fail to realize I don't believe anything of what they're saying. They put that BS in his contract, and it's a bunch. It is and it's trash because again, we're talking about a two-sport athlete. So you mean to tell me he had a poor work ethic in football? He had a poor work ethic. He was the first round pick in
So
MLB.
I
Hold
don't
on.
think it's a poor work ethic in the sense of his performance. It's his preparation that we're here. That when you
Regardless,
leave.
he still is still regardless. Even still, this dude was a first round pick in MLB for the Oakland A's. How do you have a poor work ethic
That
if
speaks
you
to
if you
that speaks
if
to
you got
yes,
picked
that
for the
speaks to
NFL,
his
you got picked for the
that
MLB?
speaks to his
Come on, bro.
athleticism and stuff they do. They talk about his
Bro, you
preparation.
still have, bro. You
The
still have
mental
to have,
they talk about the mental portion of it. Like, yes, he
bro.
can do that, but he's not
Do
evidently.
you not? Do you or do you not? Whether you go in NFL, whether you go
Mhm.
in MLB, do you not have any type of interview prior to going into that in any of those professional organizations?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that they didn't figure out the MLB nor the NFL that he had a poor work ethic coming into either one of those sports? Because
Again,
he
that at the
again
time,
you got two other coaches.
so at this point it's speculative, but again, just for the sake of the conversation, at that point, it's feasible to say yes, he might have exhumed to show that okay, even if he didn't, or I ain't gonna say he didn't, but even if he shows some things, it's like okay, you think that people mature as we're talking about. The problem is the organization, the Arizona organization, seemed or deemed that he was not mature at the level in which they were wanted him to be at. His maturity hadn't set up and been. So that's why they put these stipulations. If we're going to pay you 230 million and make you the second highest player in the NFL, this is what we want you to do to continue to show us that you're committed to it. And they said that they felt like he wasn't all in. Hence the reason why they put these stipulations in. So something as simple as doing 4 hours a week for 17 plus weeks to make sure that you keep your money should be easy. If you've been doing that already, as you stated, it shouldn't even be
It
any
shouldn't
skin
need,
off your back.
it shouldn't even need to be a stipulation though.
But
That's
where's stipulation set for it though?
huh?
I said,
What do you
why
mean?
are stipulations set? They're set because something they show you see something you be like, in order to protect what it is that we're doing, I have to put this into we put this into writing and put a signature on it and make it a contract. So as long as you do this now what I would say to what you're saying is now what is even though they've laid out what it is that they perceive as being a breach of the contract, now we have a situation where presumably we're going to say, what is your definition of violation of the contract of me not studying compared to what my definition is? Because I may have a different study ethic than you do, or whatever case like that. So I may set up a study. I might need to be able to look at this game tape or game field and then go do something like play a quick round of bowling on my phone and then come back to it because what it has been proven through the psychology of play is that sometimes that stuff helps. So it needs to be an understanding of that. But if you walked in as my GM and I'm looking at game tape and then you walk in and see me playing on my phone, automatically you're going to presume that okay, here we go again with the BS. This is exactly why we got the
See,
stipulations.
that's the problem.
But
You're
that
assuming
might but
that's a
again, that's why I'm saying it needs to be understood. But the end
y'all
state
still
is
how's but see, this is the thing that bothers me, Trey. Y'all
mhm,
say that, but how does he go in the beginning of the season and go 7-0 before they get their first loss with poor work ethic? How does he go 7-0 at the beginning of the season before they get their first L? Yeah, I saw that already. Yeah, with poor work ethic, how is that possible? He went 7-0 before they took their first L. So
true.
how's that poor work ethic? That like
But
if
so
the
okay,
post
true that. So
team, bro.
in those seven in
I
that seven
knew,
zero
I knew a
in
guy when I was in military. Real quick, I knew a guy in the
mhm,
military. Right when we was I think I was in PLDC when I was out in Fort Campbell.
mhm.
Bro, he didn't throw the ball to Hopkins the whole entire game. Come on, bro. And then when Hopkins went down, that's when they season fell. Got it. We know Hopkins is a huge factor in the game. I think he wasn't too fond of film studies, and that's why they put that in the, which is possible. I get that. I understand that. A lot of people are. But let me say, for an example, right? There's a
Mhm.
guy I was in PLDC with when I was in, for those that don't know, that was primary leadership development course to be able
The
to make
old
E5,
system.
the old way, the old system. Yeah, before you was able to make E5, you had to go to PLDC. Or actually to keep it before you can become a sergeant, you had to attend PLDC. So there was a guy. We in PLDC. This is when PLDC was a month long before they went to 2 weeks. So we in PLDC, they giving us our study material, whatever, whatever. Dude, we sitting there. Dude, we have our study material, whatever. He was right next to me. Got our study material, whatever. And we're all going through it. They're giving gave us an opportunity to go through our stuff, through our study material, and learn some things. Guy sitting right next to me. He like skims through it real quick, skims through it, and jumps right on his phone. And I'm like, I'm thinking, I'm looking around, I'm looking at him, I'm like, am I the only one still studying? I'm looking, and I look around, everybody else still studying. I'm the only, and I'm studying. He on his phone, texting and doing whatever. And he did this for like a few days. Finally, I was like, man, I just asked, I said, man, you already, like, have you been here before? Like, or are you
are you a repeat?
Yeah, are you a what was that?
A recycle?
Recycle, yeah, that's it. Oh, were you a recycle? So I'm like, how do you why? Like he was like, no. Then why do you say that? I was like every time we go in here to study, you skim through it real quick and you done. He said, I got a photographic memory. I have a photographic memory. And every one of his tests he aced. He aced every one of his tests. And I was like, God. Oh. So with that being said, you just because you can't take for granted, not saying Kyler Murray has a photographic memory.
Yeah, we know he doesn't.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
No one said
it. We don't know what he has. We know he's a Heisman candidate, a Heisman Trophy winner. We know that.
We know that.
We do know that. But we don't know if he has
a
photographic.
Let's ensure that we don't sit up and go through here. Like they can stop making Heisman Trophy winners when Kyler Murray got the Heisman Trophy. We got USC got Heisman Trophy winners. Plenty of them. You know their names.
When the last time y'all won one? Has it been one in 2000? Don't worry, I'll wait. Anywho, but while we're here, silence is compliance. Anywho, as I was stated, we don't know what Kyler Murray.
Actually, it was one in 2000.
Who?
Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart. They won them back to back in 2000. In the 2000s.
Wasn't that? What? Hold on. Was it 2000s?
Yeah. You got. I think they played. It was 2000 and what? In 2000, when did they play? Texas. Reggie Bush. One of them won it during that when they lost to Texas in the national championship, and the other one won it the year before.
Yeah, you're right. Early 2000.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
early 2000. But anywho, we don't know what Kyler Murray's worth ethic is. 04. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate it. 2004. Yeah, Matt Leinart won it in 2004. You're right.
And Reggie Bush won it in 2003.
Oh, and Carson Palmer won it in 2002. So yeah,
so three. So they had three in the first in the 4 year.
Yeah, in the beginning of the 2000s. We're in 2022. Anywho, like I was saying, Kyler Murray, we don't know what he does. We do know he was doing, obviously his work ethic was pretty good for him to start off 7-0. They were the only undefeated team for at
honestly,
one point.
When I look at what Anthony Price said, I don't think it might not have been Kyler Murray's work ethic. It might have been the work ethic of DeAndre Hopkins, everyone around him. So to go off of something what you just said,
does he not have to read the defense to be able to get the ball to DeAndre Hopkins?
He just be able to know where Hopkins is, but through their
chemistry. No, he has to read the defense, bro. What are you talking? He still has to read it.
So let's act like
if DeAndre Hopkins is the best wide receiver on that team, do you not think that the defense is prepared to do whatever it takes to ensure that DeAndre Hopkins doesn't get the ball? So therefore, they have to put a defensive scheme in to try and shake.
So would you say is it a safe bet to say that if you because you play quarterback, is it a safe bet to say that even though you know that you tell me to sit up and run a post corner or a quick slant or something like that to go across the field, or even if you sit up and tell me to do a go route or a stop and go, It is all it is you. If I know what the play is, I don't need to recognize the defense. Like you come up to the line, you're going to read to see if there's if
That
what you
part.
want
You
as your
gotta read
primary.
it.
Yeah,
Right.
but that's but correct me if I'm wrong. That's QB 101. That we already know that as a
You
quarterback,
still
anyone that
no,
comes up to the line knows that you need to read,
right.
look at the defense to see where people are positioned. Because what we
But
know
that's not
is
where that's not where it ends though, Trey, because
true that
the defense is can be positioned wherever they want to. However, come
because when the
their
ball
home
snaps, they're
team,
going to move, they're going to shift.
they're going to get
So
into a whole different position. So to be able to do that as a quarterback, you sometimes you have to look off one receiver so you
true
can
that.
throw back to another.
But so
So
the my
it'll take
point to that
skill.
Yeah, but my point to that is that's QB 101. Once you learn that, you don't need to sit. It comes a point to where it becomes muscle memory. You come up to it and you do it. Even I'm very sure,
That's
even
not my
you
mirror.
at a quarterback, even you when you come up to the line of scrimmage and you're quarterbacking, naturally you scan the defense to see where people are
Right.
because you know
You
what you're
do.
trying to do. That's just natural. That's muscle memory at this point, and you haven't played in a second, and nor had neither one of us has played in pro. So that's muscle memory. It doesn't take much to recognize, like, okay, if he gets a couple of steps on this man that has him backpedaling, if they're in zone, he knows that okay, if he sends someone in motion and the defense shifts and the man doesn't go with him, he know they're in zone, they're not in man. So now you know, okay, this is my plan. So all that doesn't take much when you're to look at a film to recognize that. You don't need to that. You don't need a huge work ethic to do that because that's what's going to happen naturally. But so back to what you were saying in reference to the dude in PLDC, if he like you said he has and Ron said he does not. I concur. But in any case, but
He don't
it
what he does not what.
talk saying Kyler Murray doesn't have a photographic memory. But
Y'all don't know that.
we know that. We see that. But
Y'all don't know that. How? How do you know that?
he's swift, he's quick, and he's shifty. That's what we know. We can see that. I don't see a
But how do
photographic
y'all
memory.
know he don't have a photographic memory? How do y'all know that?
Okay, you know what?
How do y'all don't know that?
I want Dale, and we're gonna find out. But
Okay.
but like you say, with my man, that he said he had a photographic memory.
Mm-hmm.
Just alone from the fact of you and a bunch of the other candidate PODC candidates or not candidate PODC students that were in there, and y'all was doing their studying. It could be a sensible matter that everyone didn't have a photographic memory. So he would be considered the exception to that if that being true. And like you said, he aced all his tests.
Mm-hmm.
Now just to play anti-advocate to that, maybe he was legitly good or maybe he didn't have a photographic memory. In the process
I
that we know in the
wouldn't say
process
that
that
if he didn't.
yeah, true that. In the process that we know of, people tend to do different things to memorize some things, all type of things. I don't know what you did for your process. I know what I, you know, saying people know what I did for my process, or to basically get me to remember to be able to recite and talk about what I needed to talk about. And you know, saying even in this process, it's up and when we talk about these topics, and a lot of times where is even you're reading or we're talking about it like we're sitting and speaking. So what you know is easy to you to where you can sit up and don't have to look over something, have to look at it. So just like you was talking about in PLDC, when I went through PLDC, and then say is which kind of correlates when I went to PLDC. I what would you say is the hardest part of PLDC? What is the hardest maybe the hardest lesson that people at PLDC people
Well, the
go through
people, most people had the biggest problem was land
land
navigation.
navigation. Okay, point. So that's you know what I'm saying. So land navigation. In going through land navigation, at that point, to go through land navigation, premise is you know have to know how to read a map, how to find distances, how to navigate towards those distances and get there. So with that being said, when I went through PLGC at Fort Hood, Texas, I was in combat arms. I was a 13 Echo, which is a cannon fire direction specialist. My main job in cannon fire direction specialist is to have the ability to read a map, to be able to tell you, give you coordinates and all that type of stuff, because that's how I put skill on target. I was the brains of the field artillery. So with that being said, when I went to PLDC and I went to the land nav course, I'm already going in thinking, you know what I'm saying, popping my collar, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm this dude, you know what I'm saying? Until we went through the practice course, and it was four locations. I had to get. I ended up after I went through the practice. I had to get. I had only got 2 or 4, or maybe 1 of 3, 1 of 4. It wasn't a pretty sight, and so now I'm looking at like, yo, I'm shook now. So when you look at it, it's like, okay, I believe like people show certain things. So this is what I'm saying. Basically, you show certain things, in which this can be Kyler Murray potentially, or maybe not. So when it came showtime, which is quote unquote game time, when we went out to do the land nav course for pass or fail, I got 4 out of 4 on my sheet. I was shaking. I don't know why I was shaking, but I got 4 out of 4. So it's like what I did in practice didn't show. Not the bolo. What I did in practice, i.e., that practice test, i.e., practice what I did, because you know, saying, of course, going through and maybe going through and we talk about maturity because the land that PLDC is the point in which a service member, in this case, the Army, crosses over from that private specialist, that lower enlisted, into the NCO channel, where it becomes what should become with a sense of maturity when you're doing that, because it's showing that you are ready to be a leader. And these are the things in which we're instilling y'all as far as leadership. So when I crossed over and when I was doing that study, I didn't study much for land nav, because I'm like, I done sit up and went through, I'm a 13 Echo. This is all I do is maps. And it all, so it had me sick, but I was like, oh snap. I only got 1 out of 4. I was like, and if you know what the like this, so at minimum 1,000 meters. Do you know how long it takes when you're walking over terrain at 1,000 meters? The box method, trying to keep your pace count while you're walking, all that type of stuff. Like it's like, oh snap! It's like you got a lot of stuff going on. So maybe it's different. I mean, it could be the same or different for Kyler Murray. Maybe, I don't know. But what it is proven is they paid a lot of money for this man to play for them, and they're trying to protect their investment by making sure that he's doing everything he can to put them to the next level. He played 4 years, and in that 4 year time frame, he been to the Pro Bowl twice. He won the Rookie of the Year at his first year. This just means he outplayed other rookies. Not saying that he outplayed anyone else. He just outplayed the rookies in his same
which is
element.
only supposed to do that. He's supposed to only
Yeah,
outplay
true that. He outplayed the rookies, so he beat out all the rookies in the NFL, not the NFL
32.
players.
That's
He did get
32.
more than 32, but 32 top
Yeah,
rookies. That was in the same class
yeah,
as
yeah.
him. Yeah,
Quarterback rookie.
he beat them out. He won.
That's
He went to the Pro Bowl twice in 4 years, and he
that's
took his team for the first time in the 4 years to NFL to the playoffs.
and has thrown 70 touchdowns and 20 and rushed for 20 in those same in that span as well. The only quarterback to ever do that.
Yeah, but
3
that all speaks to his
But
attributes
again,
as a physical attributes, not his mentality, and that's what I'm
so,
saying.
so that's the same physical attributes than which Michael Vick had, the same physical attributes that which a lot of other quarterbacks had prior to him. Yet he's the
But
first
no
one.
one ever said anything about Michael Vick not being mature. It's only been said about Kyler Murray. So that's what they're doing. They're just trying to protect it. In which, I mean, when you look at it, he's like, this is a grown man. Y'all got to sit up and make him study. You know what I'm saying? But it's like they got to protect their investments.
I don't believe it. I think I'm gonna be completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Cliff Kingsbury. I don't think he's the right coach for them. In
Mm.
my personal opinion, I do not think he's the right coach for them. I think he was the wrong coach, just like Urban Meyer. It's like Urban Meyer tried
Was
to
the
be
wrong
with
coach.
Trevor Lawrence. Yep. I think it's Cliff Kingsbury. I think Cliff got excited because he thought he was
The
getting the
air
same
raid
kind of
offense.
that he was getting when he had him at Texas A&M, and that's I think he's the issue. I think my personal opinion, I think he's the issue, because to even go back to what you were saying in regards to about reading defenses and stuff of that nature, even still, Kyler Murray has to watch game film on any team in which he's getting ready to play to be able to learn the defense, to be able
So I
be
think
able
I think we I think he's doing I
to know
think he's
what
watching tape. I think he's watching that, but I think the problem is he's not studying it appropriately. I think like he's watching it, he has it on for what it seems
you're
like
not
is a
studying appropriately, Trey, if
so
you're
it's
7
like he
before you get your first loss.
because like he said they had so the debacle came when DeAndre Hopkins went down. When they removed DeAndre Hopkins from the equation, he faltered. at in-state. That's what happened when they removed DeAndre Hopkins from the
What
defense
about the years
offense.
before
He
DeAndre
faltered.
Hopkins made it there? What about the years before DeAndre Hopkins made it there?
They hadn't went to the Super. They hadn't went to the playoffs. They wasn't 7-0. That's for sure.
The
They
first year he
won
didn't have
games.
the first year he didn't have DeAndre Hopkins, and he didn't put in he won rookie of the year.
True that. Like
The,
I said, he
the second year
outplayed
he
the
didn't have
he outplayed his
DeAndre has only
peers.
been there. DeAndre Hopkins been there only for 1 year, for one season.
Yeah, one
One season.
season. It
Listen,
was
one
last
season.
season, but he
Right,
was
last
injured.
season. So
But Murray was injured
70,
last season.
right. So 70. So again, we go back to those 70 touchdowns that he threw and 20 rushing touchdowns in 3 seasons. DeAndre Hopkins probably ain't even got 10% of that.
So it's clear that it's without a reasonable doubt that he probably incurred some of that, which got him the rookie of the year, or he showed that, and then over the course of 3 years, because the middle 2 years he was injured a little bit, and he was even injured last year, but he was without DeAndre Hopkins the majority of the season last year. But they had him long enough for them to put in place to where all they had to do was basically win at least 5 to 6 games without them, which they did. Hell, one of those games, or one or two of them games, Kyler Murray didn't even win. It was won by their backup, where one of them was they beat the 49ers with the backup quarterback. So it's like, so it's, what I'm saying, it hasn't all been him, but what I'm saying is they probably recognize that, oh, this dude, we just need more from you. And that's basically what it came out. They've been saying that, like, in my opinion, the rhetoric or the conversation that the Arizona brass has had has not changed. They just said, we need more from you as our quarterback. We need you to do this at the third. And that's all they've been saying. That whole rhetoric has not changed. And now, saying they were able to become, saying, to bury all those differences. And now it's to the point to where they put these stipulations. And you got to think, Kyler Murray signed it. In-state, he signed it to get his money. So even one, in which he's not going, of course, we're not going to say even one, he believes in that, or two, he's just like, you know what, there's no skin off my back. I'm going to make it happen. But now if it comes out.
This is the thing, Anthony Price, though. This is the thing. What you saying right here is like he's studying at work, but when he gets home, he's not doing anything
extra. Yeah.
That part right there, I don't feel like it's a bad work ethic, though. I don't feel like that's a bad work ethic. What you're saying right there, I don't feel like that's a bad work ethic.
So you're right. You're so true. So I think what is going on.
That don't mean that you have a bad work ethic because you're not studying.
So
at
what?
Home. That
does. You're right, because you're at home. It's like, I'm away. Like, I don't need, that's extracurricular. I don't need, like,
that should be an initiative to yourself to want to do that.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean you have a bad work ethic.
So that brings up a good point, in which now that cleans up a clear point then, because what we have now is the simple fact of, if they're able to put this in a contract, that means they see this, and which means it's at work in which he's doing these things. Like, remember, they talked about that he's the last one to come in and he's the first one to leave after practices and stuff like that. So it's things in that nature. Like,
this is a bad work ethic then if he's the first one there and the last one to leave.
A correction, last one. I said the last one there, the first one to leave. He's the last one to come in, and he's the first one to leave when it's time to go. So that they're saying is the maturity level that they want for their quarterback, their franchise quarterback, their highest paid player quarterback, is, we need more from you. And this is the stipulations based off of what they see that is driving that.
But again, that still doesn't make sense to me, because if you feel like his work ethic is that bad, where you had to put it in his contract, why even start him? Why even re-sign him? Why even do any of it? What?
Because I think it's
if you have a bad work ethic, but if he has a bad work ethic, you have an opportunity to pick up a quarterback in the draft. You had an opportunity to pick up a whole nother quarterback in the draft. Now, this is the thing, right? This is another thing. Y'all talk about he didn't have DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins didn't go down until week 14. He didn't go down until week 14. So he had DeAndre Hopkins up to week 14. DeAndre Hopkins suffered a torn MCL in week 14, a matchup against the Rams. So how did he not have DeAndre Hopkins? No, he lost with DeAndre Hopkins. Again, so everybody's keep saying that it was DeAndre Hopkins that, no. He has to study. He still has to do his part as a quarterback for that organization to be able to get wins. Again, they had 7 to 8 wins prior to they getting their very first. Well, at one point they were the only team who were undefeated in the NFL at some point in time. You can't tell me you have a bad work ethic with being 7-0, 8-0, whatever they were with a record like that. That's like saying, you know what I'm saying, you have to sign him, you have to sign him, the cap room will go up to that 200, will turn into 280 or 320 in 2 years if you wait. Got it. But if you have I'm gonna put it to you like this. I hear what you're saying, Anthony, but you still want to forget, you're missing the point. If you don't like if you don't like a player's worth ethic, that's huge.
So
That's major. And if you don't like it as a coach, why would you keep him? When you, especially when you have not, when you have an opportunity to let him go. If you
so
have an
it,
opportunity to let him
let's
go and you have a draft come up, why would you continue to, why would you sign a person with a bad work?
you can put this in layman's terms. Let's say for those who have been in marriages, you sit up and sign a contract for a marriage. At the point at which you sign a contract for the marriage, that's based on that y'all feel like y'all are compatible in ways that y'all can win in state. Like I said, playing on words, you're able to win. At the point in which you foresee that it's starting to go a little awry and stuff like that, you start to think, saying, am I in the right deal? Am I in the right situation? You little not many people automatically cut sling low and cut bait and go and terminate contracts based on one or two things. If you foresee that this was a good investment in yourself and in that individual in which you married, you continue to work at it, or you put things and you go to things like counseling, or you go do things that make it conducive for y'all to be able to weather the storm, to get past whatever it is that's ailing you. I think it's no different from the same thing for Kyler Murray. Yes, they drafted him, like they drafted him just after they drafted a quarterback the year before at number 10. They drafted him at number 1. So now with him being drafted at number 1, they feel like there was that he's, saying he's formidable. They can work with him. It's just these little things in which they need to work on to get him to where they believe he should be, which is helping him ultimately. So I don't think it's enough for them to get rid of them or to terminate their terminate what they had going on. They put stipulations in, so it's like, okay, if you're willing to work at this, we're willing to work at this by paying you the money that you're deserving of, but you just need to do this, that, the third to show us that you're working at this. Of course, now what we come back to is like after all that the counseling, the sessions, going to do certain things, changing certain things. If you can't sit up and hold up your end of the bargain, i.e., the stipulations, 4 times studying 4 hours a week with no interruptions, all that type of stuff, now you have to be. We terminate, or i.e., we go get a divorce, or we go do whatever. You get chaptered from the service, all that type of stuff. No different from a Article 15s. You get your punishment. I'm not saying this is a punishment, but you get your punishment, or what's that, a suspended bus, where it's okay, we understand you did something. What we're going to do is put you on suspended bus. Your actions are going to dictate over the next course of time, 6 months, 45 days. I mean, 6 months, that you are worthy of what you have been doing, and that you are a stellar athlete or you a stellar soldier. And at the end of that 6 months, we remove that hold, and you're free to go ahead and do what you got to do and continue on as a person. So I think that's what is they recognize and feel that, okay, he can make things happen. We want to keep him. We just need him to do this at the third. And
So real quick, Anthony, just so we're gonna move on after this,
mhm,
but real quick, Anthony, just so you know, you said tell me who they played the first 7 games. Just ask. First game, they beat the Titans 38-13. Second game, they beat the Vikings 34-33.
mhm.
Third game, they beat the Jaguars 31-16. Fourth game, they beat the Rams 37-20.
That
Fifth
was on
game, they
oh no, that Green Bay. They beat Green Bay on what's called it, right?
this the fifth game they beat the 49ers 17-10.
Mm-hmm.
Sixth game they beat the Browns 37-14.
The last
Seventh
game
game they
was.
beat seventh game they beat the Texans 31-3.
But then after that, they lost DeAndre Hopkins, and then they like
No, they
y'all
didn't
won.
lose DeAndre Hopkins. They didn't lose DeAndre Hopkins to week 14. Week
They
14 versus the Rams.
they lost. It was
That's
the Rams.
yeah, when he tore his MCL in week 14 versus the Rams. That's when they lost. So he had DeAndre Hopkins. Hell of a 7 games. Right. So he had DeAndre Hopkins, and they still they
They
lost.
lost. It was the last. It was the last
The
three.
first game they
Not
lost. They lost after they beat the Texans. They lost to the Packers, 24-21. Then they beat the 49ers again, 31-17 right after that. Then they
why you put
lost to
so
the
much
Panthers
emphasis on again.
because they did. They beat them again. They
No,
beat
but
them
you put
twice.
emphasis on. You say they beat the 49ers again.
They
Like
did.
I, you would say
They
you
did.
didn't put no emphasis on anyone else. You what you said.
They ain't beat nobody else again yet. I'm about to tell you. They beat the 49ers again, 31-17. The second time, then they lost to the Panthers. Then they beat the Seahawks. They
Didn't they
beat
beat the
the
Seahawks twice?
No, they hadn't played them twice, I don't think.
Okay.
No, they didn't pay them twice. Then they beat the Bears. Then the Rams beat them. That's when they lost Hopkins. They lost to the Lions. They lost to the Colts. They beat the Cowboys. Then they got beat by the Seahawks. And then they got beat by the Rams in the NFC. Like, come on, bro. Like those games in which after they lost to the after they lost Hopkins
In state
in
is he's not mature. That's all it is, and
no,
that's why they put that in
no,
there.
it's Cliff Kingsbury. That's what it is. It's him. He needs to carry it somewhere. It's Cliff Kingsbury. He need to go somewhere. I think he's a problem. Just like Urban Meyer, he needs to leave that organization. And
So
I guarantee Tyler Murray. I wish Pat Doug Peterson would have went there. But it's cool where Doug is at. But I
so
guarantee you get a quarterback whisperer, he'd be that dude. He'll
mm,
be that dude.
I-
Or Andy Reid. Ooh, if he had like an Andy Reid or somebody. Oh yeah.
additionally, speaking of Andy Reid, Kansas City's offensive tackle Orlando Brown Jr., who was franchise tag earlier in the year, of course, after the season by the Kansas City Chiefs, um, has is holding out. He's like, I'm not reporting to camp. He didn't get the
Who's
money in
this?
which he thought. Orlando Brown, offensive tackle.
Oh,
He's holding
oh.
out. Basically, he was franchise tag, in which he has not signed that franchise tag tender, which means he doesn't face any fines or anything for holding out. But of course, he's not getting paid either. Um, but he's basically holding out for the year because he was tagged, but he hasn't signed that tender. He basically says, "I'm not. I think the work off season negotiating wasn't to his liking. He didn't. He wasn't getting the deal in which he figured that he should be getting, and he's holding it out. So now we have another situation to where we have a player. I know Patrick Mahomes spoke on it. He said, and Andrew Reid's like, basically, if he's here, he's here. If he's not, we have to move on. They've already signed two offensive tackles and brought them into training camp. Um, which I mean, but then Orlando Brown. But I mean, again, uh, so in this situation, Bishop,
What? That ain't got nothing to do with Andy Reid though. But yeah, I don't know why they ain't signed
are
Orlando.
you keep you? Well, they say they're not signing because they gave him a deal. They gave him a couple of deals. He just doesn't think any of them are to his liking. But are you in? Would you say you would have the same mindset like Andy? Like, man, if he's here or he ain't, we got to move on.
Well, as a coach, you have no choice because it's not up to you to sign them. You just there to coach. You're not there to sign players. You just there to coach. So yeah, when it's all said and done, if he's not signing, he's not showing up. You got to move on. You got to keep moving. You got to move past that and play with what you have.
You've been
So
a
yeah,
coach. In the back of your mind, are you thinking to yourself like, "Damn," especially as it's going on and everything? You
you
like,
having conversations. Oh, you definitely having conversations with your coaching staff, and you definitely having conversations with other people in regards to it, in hopes that if that's somebody you truly want, yeah, you definitely want that to happen. You definitely want him to be. You definitely want him to be. You definitely want him to be here. But
was
yeah,
there ever a point in which I might have been injured? You was like, "Damn," when we had a game, you was like, "Damn, Trey ain't even here."
oh,
Was
I've
that?
always had. I've, I've always had that with all players. I've had that with any game, any team in which I play, coached and played
I
basketball.
asked about a specific player. I wasn't asking about any other people.
I don't remember that ball fall back. I'm
That's
sure I
true.
did.
That's true. Well, no, honestly, I didn't
That's
miss any games. Unless you know, what I'm
yeah,
saying unless so
yeah. I
I
don't
didn't miss
recall
any
you
games.
missing
But
too many games.
I was just trying to see because as we all know, he's you know, what I'm saying he talked about another player being on one of, but disregard, disregard. But in any case,
It's disgruntled, yo.
uh,
This dude here, bro.
I should have held out for a couple of
And Nick,
MREs.
for your answer, Anthony, how is it the coach when you got a better record every year? Because when I say that, I said he's not the right coach for Kyler. I'm not saying he's not the right coach for the team. He's not the right coach for Kyler. Certain coaches and quarterbacks don't match. Just like we seen what the GOAT did. He went from one team and went to another and won a Super Bowl. Sometimes even though him and the GOAT
Belichick.
of coaches, Belichick, were such a great tandem for such a long time, he still went somewhere else with Bruce Arians and won a Super Bowl. So sometimes you may fall out with your coach. What? Hold on.
So, like you said, sometimes I think I get what the point he's made. Sometimes you may fall out with your coaches, but in that basically saying that it's like, or sometimes it just doesn't go well. Like, yes, you're from a standpoint, you're a coach, but you're not on the touching the vein of that of a certain player to get the best out of that player, to which
That
it starts
part,
to be animosity, and now you're looking at like, I don't even like this dude, or I don't like his
that part.
philosophy, or none of that. So, I think that's the point which he's trying to make.
And I think right, and I think and I think Cliff Kingsbury felt like they may have had the same relation, or was expecting the same relationship that they had when he was coaching them in college. And like y'all say, it's a whole different transition when you go from college to NFL, because again, in college you ain't got nobody, you ain't making no money, so you got a whole lot of other distractions when you was in college, because of course the NIL wasn't even
Yeah,
there then. So you had to find, after football practice, you had to find ways to make money, to do this, that, and the other. And mind you, he was a two-sport player again. So he had not only to have to worry about football, he had to worry about baseball too. So yeah, I'm sure it was totally different dynamic when he was in college, and Cliff was probably expecting that same type of dynamic in the NFL, and it might have been like that for the first year or two, but after that, it's different, bro. It's different, and he just might not be that coach for Kyler to flourish, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean Cliff is not a good coach for that team.
Noted. Of course, additionally, another player that's holding out, Chicago Bears linebacker Roquan Smith.
Mm-hmm.
The player linebacker out of Georgia. He's basically holding out, but like Orlando Brown, he was in franchise tag. He's holding out because he feel like he has outplayed his contract, and he's playing on his fourth year of his rookie contract, due to make $9.7 million. He just feels like I've outplayed it, and I need to get played for what I've been doing. Additionally, he is a two-time All Pro linebacker, but he has no Pro Bowl appearances. So some of the conversation is, or what is clearly is that seems to be a disparity between peers and fans, as opposed to writers. As we know, the writers choose the Pro Bowlers. Uh, the writers choose the Pro Bowl. The writers choose the All Pros, and fans and coaches and everything like that choose the Pro Bowlers. And he's not. There's a disparity between the two. Um, so at this point, he's basically looking to see if he's going to get paid, holding out, not going to camp I'm saying campus, not going to practice to the training camps, and then additionally also, but the difference is also, like I said, he's not franchise tag, so he is going to be fine for not being at the camp. So of course, y'all in the comments, let me know. Do you like, we have a lot of this with the holdouts? That's basically you're losing money for the sake to make more money. Is that a cool way to go, or what do you think? What's your rhetoric? What are you doing? Are you holding out too? Making 9.7 million is a bad if you continue that, as long as you don't get injured, which of course is always a possibility. But that's a possibility in anything. Are you shunning 9.7 million in your last year when you're playing to where you're going to get another deal to go ahead and or you want to continue to lose? I think $33,000 for every day of camp that you miss. That's coming out of your pocket. Like, what are your thoughts? What are y'all going to do? Um, what is it that you're going to? What's the move you're making? I don't think I'm losing that type of money. It's like, I mean, but again, it comes to the mindset. Or if I have, if and he's been the last, like you said, he's playing on his fourth year. The last 2 years, he has played in every game, so he's been healthy, which is shows his production. He averages um, one interception, at least a minimum of one interception a year, as well as 101. Well, one interception a year, 101 tackles every year, as well as in the last 2 years, he's basically amassed 14 sacks. So, like you said, pretty productive. But is it a situation to where yeah, I agree, Ron. Like, bet on myself, and I'm always like that. I'm always that's the energy. I bet on myself, but that could be seen in a bunch of different ways. Am I betting on myself in the aspect of I just go ahead and play this contract, make my 9.7, and get my money even somewhere in between there, or after the season, or am I betting on myself? Like, I think my I'm valuable enough to where y'all gonna miss me before I miss you, and you're gonna pay me before I come back to this organization. So uh, definitely some things to take a look at, some thoughts. But like you say, any case, like you said, that's a boss move. Any case where you look at you want to make that happen. That's a good point, Zach. Like, I'm not doing that. And the first thought in my mind is I'm not doing that. I'm going to go ahead, get my money, and find a way. Let my agent talk and be like, okay, this is what we're looking at. This is what we're trying to do, and go from there. So at the point in which, like you said, you're losing $33,000, 33,000 a game. I mean, a day during training camp. This isn't the little mini camps that they did before they had the OTAs they did before having a little break and coming back to the season. Now we're talking about a spring camp to where someone's out there after my job at the point at which I'm not there. That's blood in the water. And so you're saying, yes, I may have been the top dog, but now I may not be the top dog going in. Yeah, biggest person when you look at it, Le'Veon Bell. He held out and he's been a journeyman since and hasn't really got any burn really anywhere. So, but perfect example, drunk. When you look at it, like, he didn't make it happen. He did it. He tested the water. He betted on himself. But again, we're talking about a position that was a dwindling position anyway in running back. And you talk about the position as a running back that was a that which is presumed as a position that was kind of on the out. So, but he was one of those. He basically tried it. It didn't work for him, and now we see where he's at. Back to what Zach was saying, those paychecks add up. I missed 10 days. I've already done set up an eclipse of 3.3 million. Like, I'm like, why? Why even put my? I mean, not $33,000, $330,000 at that point. So it's like, why even put myself in that position? I want to get paid. You muted. Oh no, you're not. So it's just one of those things where I definitely am not doing it. Bishop, what's your take on it? If you were if you want to make 9.7 million for this year, but you felt like you wasn't getting paid what you should be getting paid, and you're going to hold out, we're at $33,000, 33,000 a year. I mean, a month. I mean, a week, a game, 33,000 a practice uh, for missing those days. Or are you doing that to you gonna lose the little money that you have chasing after the other money, or are you gonna go ahead and just be like, all right, let's go in hopes of getting
Yeah,
a paycheck?
yeah, that's what those are chances you take, man. Especially if you believe in your skills and it's proven on the field and it's proven in
Mm,
yeah, those are chances you take to get your paychecks or you get your bag.
mm.
If you don't do it, I mean, you shorten
So
yourself.
so we both
You already
bet
know what
we
happened
both bet
with Scottie Pippen.
we both betting on ourselves, but I think you're going the opposite way of what I do. I bet on myself by going to play and be like, okay, they're gonna be like, yo, we got to pay this dude because we finna lose
Nah,
him.
because what if you get injured? Now
I
you
feel like
screwed yourself.
you get injured anyway. It's possible. It's possible to get
Yeah,
injured enough.
it's better to be injured and get paid than to be injured and not get paid.
They still got to pay
I,
me that 9.7.
but that's the 9.7 compared to whatever the other amount was. I like we all hate or we all fear of getting injured, but that's mainly why a lot of players
Yeah,
hold out
because
because
they
they hold
the fact that they want
they
to
want,
secure their money.
they want to secure that bag. They don't want to take that chance because you never know. Freak accidents happen all the time, and you just don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want to find yourself not being able to get the bag because for whatever reason somebody rolled over on your ankle, you tore your ACL, your MCL, you know what I'm saying, your rotator cuff for quarterbacks, stuff like that. You don't want that, man. You want to be able to have the opportunity to get your money. And if you don't do that by getting your money, you shortchanging yourself. You're shortchanging yourself by a lot. By a lot, man.
Is there a point in which if you're holding out is in which you're like, yo, I just got to stop. I got to go back in. Or are you going to just at this point you're gonna be like, you know what?
No,
I done
once you
lost this
no,
one for the long
yeah,
haul.
once you yeah, once you look if you going in, you gotta go all the way in. You can't go in half ass. You can't put one foot in the water and
Woo.
out other out. You gotta go all the way in.
You would find
Because
me as your agent, and we had to split. I'm like, you know what? Go ahead.
before we get that part drunk, exactly. Nobody wants to get injured before they get paid. That's the whole thing. And that's fine. I'm gonna find another agent. I'll find an agent who believes in what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to preach, bro.
That's what you
Oh
gonna
my,
basically be like. He doesn't believe, so now you gonna
yeah,
ruin the rest of my bags. You gonna basically
yeah.
ruin me
You
and
trying to
getting
ruin my bags?
clients
Give me my money. Now let me give me my worth. You trying to ruin my bags? Cause mind you, some of these people, some of these cats got families. I gotta secure my bag for the future. I got family. No, why am I going to accept 3.5 million when I can get 15 to 20 million and really secure my bag and to help my family just in case I do get injured?
because
I'm straight.
you signed that 3 years
Mm-mm.
ago when you was taking the 3 million. Finish it out, and you gonna get the
But
bag. It's the
if I
same thing with
prove my,
Kyler Murray. It's like the same
if
thing
I
with the
prove
Kyler Murray
myself,
situation.
but if I've proven myself
Then why
again,
have a
if I prove,
contract?
because it's binding. The contract is something to show that I'm gonna do my job.
Exactly. So the contract
But
that you signed as a
if
rookie is
I've done my
binding.
if I've done my job though, if I've done my job, I've done my job and I've gotten us wins. I've gotten us wins.
So he
I've
has
done
not gotten them wins. He's just been
he was
productive for
95
himself.
like he was 95 last year. That's
Yeah,
wins.
but they wasn't. But they
That's
said
wins.
they even talked about that how they were that how they're them going
Are
from
they
a
better than
contender.
are they better than what they were before they got Kyler?
No, what are you talking about? Yes, that in that case, yeah,
Okay.
they better. Yeah,
Okay. Well then
they,
I've done
two of the 4 years they've been better. They haven't been like it's been even kill for Arizona. But
so
I
that's
was
what
so, but I was
I've
talking
done.
about for Chicago, like they haven't
Oh,
gotten
who
better
we talking
since
about? Who we talking about?
Roquan Smith.
What does he want? I didn't hear the story.
That's what he wants. That's what we were talking about. Roquan Smith. He's due to make $9.7 million.
Oh, the linebacker.
Yeah, he's due to make the 9.7 million. He's the one holding out. Of course, he's going to lose money because he's not. It was a franchise tag. He's just holding out because he feel like he should be making more and should get the extension.
Has he
And so,
proven himself?
yeah, I mean, he's proven himself. But
Well, then he
like,
should get the bag. He should get the bag. Wow, if he's proven himself, that's why players say pay me or trade me. I totally agree with you, drunk. Totally agree with you, bro. Pay me or trade me. Somebody gonna want me. Debo Samuel want to get paid right now
what
because
is the
just
significance
but
of the contract then? Like that, it's like
it's
a double. It's like a
because it's like a job. It's still a job for them.
yeah.
You have to sign some type of contract saying that you will come to work on time.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
do
you're gonna
what
get
you're
paid
supposed
this amount of money.
this amount of money. But once you but you're gonna get paid this amount of money. Okay, got it. Now, after a certain amount of time, though, again, when it's all said and done, after a certain amount of time, though, if I've done my job well for 3 years, 4 years, or whatever, prior to my contract being expired, I feel like I deserve a raise. I
True
don't care
that.
if my
So and I'm fine with that. If but for so me as an executive, I would be fine with that if I could take back the money if you haven't been productive. Can I take back the money if you haven't been productive?
no, I've already paid.
Exactly. That's what I'm. Oh,
No,
so you're not paid. You just have a contract that states that
But how you gonna take back something that I
because
regardless,
because what
it's
you're
not gonna
telling
happen
me
to you because there's no perfect every single day. You're not
true,
getting
true.
perfect
So
every single day.
that's what I'm saying.
There's gonna
What
be
I'm
days
saying
that
is
everything's not gonna be
if
perfect.
you can come to me and tell me that the contract in which we signed you have outplayed and you deserve to get more money, and if you don't get that money you want to leave or you want to hold out and not come play until you get the contract you got, then that should mean vice versa. If you are trash and I'm paying you
But you
and
can't
your
go off
work,
if though. If you
huh?
saying if you
But
saying
it's
Ray
the same
Clark,
thing. I mean,
it's
it's
not
the same.
he's
It's
not
the same
Ray Clark
thing.
is not trash
So
though.
I'm saying for the most part that in the whole perspective of it, like if a player comes to me and saying that I've outplayed my contract, I want more money, then I would be open to doing that fine and dandy because it's like you're coming to me and telling to me I'm not playing because I want more money. You're under contract, the same contract that you're going to sign, saying that we're going to pay you X amount of dollars for this next iteration. It's the same contract. So if that is the case, then I would be interested to be like, okay, if you're not playing above board, if you're not playing at minimum of where, because when if you play just like when I used to sit up and tell my soldiers, right, at the point in which you become an NCO, what you did to become an NCO isn't going to be enough to you got to step your game up. So if I pay you, if I'm paying you, and you have outplayed that contract as we keep tossing around, if you have outplayed the contract, your rookie contract where you was making $10 million, and now you want to be paid 15 to 20 million, which is a $5 to $10 million a year raise, which could be anywhere from 20 to $40 million a raise from your $10 million raise, then I want you. You need to be playing at that level or above that got you that pay that bag. So if
But
you're
it's
not
not
playing, if you're
go
not
ahead.
paying above at that level or above, then I would like to be able to recoup my money. If you're going to sit up, if you have the ability to come with 2 years remaining on your contract to tell me that you're going to hold out until you get another raise, then if you're not performing, I should be able to sit and recoup my, or I should be able to release you and not have to pay you whatever's remaining on your contract
Why? The
because
contract
it's
because what?
because we just like we just said, if you can come to me, I'm just saying the if you can come, if we sign, if I'm your agent and we're negotiating with the team and we say
Mhm.
we're going to pay Bishop, we going to get you signed 4 years, 100 and $100 million, 4 years, $100 million, 25 million a year, and it's like okay, you know what I'm saying, we with that, and then here it comes in week in year two in which you've now become a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Um, at that point, two-time All Pro. At that point, additional two Pro Bowls, and you come and talking about, and you go to the organization saying, "Hey, I'm not coming to play. I think I've outperformed my contract. We need to negotiate the terms, and we need to sit up and get another extension because I've outplayed the contract, and you still got 2 years on that contract." So if we say that, it's like okay, no, all right, let's go to the table and do that and go ahead and make this happen.
Negotiate.
They're going to even value you enough to be like, okay, we will, or they're going to be like, no, we're not doing that. You still owe us. You still have 2 years on your contract. Like we're not going to do that. So if you decide to sit out, then it's like, okay, you sitting out, and then we're not going to do that. On the flip side of that, if we negotiate the same contract, and this is what if I'm sitting as a person on the other side, if you could come to me in 2 years and demand me to sit up and give you another extension after you haven't played out the first contract in which we have,
Mhm.
or let's say we split between the year between you played 3 years, you still have 25 million left in your contract in 3 years, but in between those 3 years, you played all right the first time, you didn't play the second year, or you didn't do as well the second year, and then you got us, but you was good enough in those first 2 years to get a Pro Bowl and an All Pro selection. But in this third year, you get us to the ship, we win the ship and all that type of stuff. Now you come talking about I'm outplayed my contract. So it's like, okay, but what about when you wasn't doing so well? Because the first 2 years you ain't do too good. you was doing above below what the standard
But it
what you
ain't
got.
about but it ain't about the past. It's about the present. What I did for you recently. If I just won you a Super Bowl and I won you a championship, I don't
I
give a damn what I did year one
I
and year
get
two.
well.
It's about
I'm
year
tracking.
three.
I'm tracking that.
If
So I'm just saying.
if I did well enough in year three to win you a Super Bowl championship, as well as I done went to the Pro Bowl, I done won the MVP, all of that. I don't give a damn what happened in year one or two.
I
Year
get that.
three,
So what
I
I'm
mean,
saying is,
I'm
if I'm saying if
my
you
contract.
if I'm saying if you didn't do that,
Then trade me. Get rid of me. I can't come to
but
see that
that's
makes
why I said that's why I said because if I owe you money, I got to pay you the money when I trade you. So I'm saying
but that
like it should
makes
be
sense.
that.
I can't come to you, Trey. If I have not performed, I can't come to you asking for a contract. If I've not performed, I cannot. If I have not progressed in performing
I
and
get
what
that,
I've
but
done,
I'm saying
how
in
am
the
I coming to you?
I'm saying that in the essence, not if you come to me. I'm saying if you can come to me and say that, then if you
I can't though.
it's I know, but listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying that if you didn't. I'm saying the option for that. Like I can, like you said trade me or release me. If that
If
is
I'm
a
not
factor,
performing,
but if I owe you money, I have that comes a penalty. I'm saying there should be something where if that's the case, if I'm looking at it from a GM, that's what or a owner or something like that from my front office, I'm looking at it if a player or if I'm an owner at these things, I'm looking at like we need to put a clause in that if a player underperforms, that we can get rid of them without any penalty. Because you still, if you underperform per the contract that we have signed, if you underperform and I owe you money on that contract, I gotta pay you. So if you can come to me in if a player could come to me and say, "Hey, we need to,"
but there's so many other measurables in that though, Trey.
it's
Because if
the
you
same thing. I'm just talking about purely from the fact of if you can come to me and say you want a promotion, then I should be able to fire you without any repercussions if you're underperforming.
but
That
see
evens the
this
playing field.
no, because again, there's so many other measurables. Because when it's all said and done, is is my poor performance all on me, or is it also as well as other players on the team? So
It's
if
no
I'm
different
throwing
from your performance.
no, no,
It's no
no,
different from your
no,
performance.
yes it
Of
is,
course,
yes it is.
if you receiving
No, if I'm the quarterback and I'm throwing the ball to certain receivers and they're dropping the ball, that's not on me.
I
That's
no, I'm
not on me.
saying, but what if you're
Listen,
throwing the ball to them and they're catching it? That's on them
but
as well. It's the same thing. If
no,
I'm a
it's not
running back that's
because
getting 24,000, if I get a 2,000 yard rushing season, it's not. I didn't sit up and I had someone block for me.
but my contract has nothing to do with them. My contract is about me. If I throw you the ball and he hits you in your chest and you drop it, that's not my fault. So that's hurting my performance. Yeah, it's
But
hurting his. It's hurting the receivers his too, but he has to negotiate his own damn contract.
no. What I'm saying is, it's
To
still
me,
connected to you. Is what I'm saying. It,
I never said it wasn't. I just said if I throw you the ball and he hits you in your chest and you drop it, that's a ding against both of us. When it comes down to it, it's my contract though that I have to worry about. Just like you have to worry about your contract. So
yeah.
when it's all said and done, I did my part by putting the ball in your chest. You didn't do your part by catching it.
But yeah. But
They
again, we're
didn't do their part by protecting me as a quarterback. They didn't do their part by ensuring that they didn't watch my backside. They didn't do their part by bringing in the
I
right players to ensure that
I
they're on the line and
and,
protecting me so I can make
and I
the
get
right
that. But
call.
I get the point that you're making, but I'm saying that point goes the opposite way too, so it balances out.
What point?
Because if you're
What point
if
goes the
you
opposite way? What goes on? What goes in your favor as you being the general manager, being that you're paying me? What goes in your favor? Because you're
no,
picking.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it goes the other way to where, like you just said, you said that you can't do that based on the fact of that it's connected to if the quarterback, I mean, if the wide receiver didn't catch the ball or whatever case like that. But that's no different from the fact of when it is good in your favor and you pass it to that person and he catches the ball and he gets yards and stuff like that. Those are yards that are attributed to you. It's the same
Just like,
conversation.
no, it ain't. But then, but if he's catching it, then that's boosting my status. That means I'm elevating myself. If
Yes,
he
but
misses,
I'm saying from the aspect I'm saying from the aspect of what you're saying, like you just said, like when we were talking about if you are underperforming and saying and you go
again, the measurables play a factor if you're underperforming. No, Trey. If it,
yes, and those
I mean,
same measurables accused if you are performing. It's the same
right,
thing.
I
So
get it.
I'm saying that's why I'm saying it cancels out. In
No,
my opinion, it cancels out because it's like we're talking the same thing. It's just one is beneficial to one will not be beneficial to me if it was to happen.
right,
And
right.
so, but that's what I'm saying. It still comes out to the same thing. So if
The only thing that's the only thing that's really gonna knock me is if I'm the quarterback, and it's gonna knock me in regards to performance is if I'm overthrowing players and they're being interceptions, if I'm inaccurate, if I'm fumbling the ball, those are things that are directly on me myself. That means me. My individual performance is the things in which I'm doing. But if I'm throwing the ball to a person and it's in their hands and they drop it, that is not on me. That's on them. But it still reflects on me compared to me throwing to a ball over a person's head where he could not catch it and the safety caught it. That's not on the receiver. That's on me. That's the difference. I, you can't if you're overthrowing. If for me, if this is just my aspect, if I'm overthrowing somebody, I can't go to the coach and I've overthrown numerous people. I've got like Jameis Winston had 30 touchdowns and 20
30 for
interceptions.
30.
Yeah, 30 for I have no leg to stand on and try and get in the contract.
I mean, it
That's
depends.
what? What did it
It
depend on?
depends.
I
I
threw
mean,
30
because
interceptions, bro.
yeah,
How? What does it depend on?
you threw 30 interceptions, but you also threw 30 touchdowns. So it depends on
It-
what
it-
you can.
so
It's just like
so
being. It's just like being
what you
in the
saying,
court
so
of
they
law. What can I prove? What can I step into? Like, yeah, he threw 30 interceptions, but he also threw 30 touchdowns, and in throwing them
so they
30
cancel each
interceptions,
other
he
out.
was trying to, huh?
But they cancel each other out, like you said. 30
Yeah,
interceptions,
but
30
they
interceptions,
should.
they cancel each other out
Yeah,
because if you could have cut them down to half, that could have been 40 interceptions. I mean, 40 touchdowns, 50
or it could have been
touchdowns.
40 interceptions
That
and
part.
20 touchdowns. So yeah,
Right.
I
They
get that.
cancel each
So
other out.
I'm
So
just
I'm saying
saying.
you can't expect a big contract with that. You can't.
Oh no, you're not gonna get a big contract with that in no means.
Hey,
But
so many
but
attorneys.
unless you're able to parlay it, I mean, because in state it comes down to the individuals who's talking, what they're looking for, and what it is. So it would depend on me as an agent or that player to sit up and go in and say, yes, I did this, and it all comes down to film, like in state. So like you was just saying, talking about. If you are overthrowing and stuff like, yes, I'm not saying that just because you underperform, that's what it is. If I'm saying you underperformed, then I come with receipts. Okay, you were X amount of this because I've worked with Synergy. So in basketball, Synergy is the system that basically gives you all those stats. So all them worthless stats and stuff you be seeing or hearing about when you're watching the broadcast and stuff like that is a system that's you're able to go and pull that stuff, and it tells you, it gives you different looks and different aspects of the game that you're watching broken down from the stats. So of course, if I do that, I have statisticians that have produced stats that could tell me like you on slants or whatever case like this, you miss X amount of players running a slant of this percentage of players where you didn't put the ball in their chest or in their hands or was a throwable ball. Like I come with those stats to sit up and tell you like this is where you're underperforming at, or like you just said, that are specifically to you. You overthrew X amount of players, X percentage of time, which amounted to in the X amount of intersections that amounted to yada 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 yada. So all that's going to be broken down. I'm just coming to you because I'm telling you like, yo, you're underperforming because, like you said, you miss uh you can get the first down this percentage of times when we is in within 2 to 3 yards of a first down that would have continued to play or whatever like that. I like if you like some of that you can't help if a quarterback drops the ball like we was talking about earlier, possession receivers versus a coverage receiver, and you know what I'm saying which one do you want and stuff like that. If I went with a catching receiver that's not good at coverage, that's on me as a GM. So yes, it cannot I mean, that's on me as a GM, so I can't hold you accountable as a defensive lineman because you didn't get to the quarterback in time to break up to stop the play from happening, to stop the quarterback from throwing the pass. That's why you have people on the back end. So when it does happen, because it's not formidable to think that every time the ball snapped, I'm going to get to I'm going to get to the quarterback, but you would like you to try. So it comes down to that. So I understand completely. Like you're not like I can't sit up and attest that you're going to be this type of player based on everything else. But what I can do is produce receipts that are specifically to you that says, no, you're not performing when it comes down to you as an individual player. and that's the portion there with it. So if that can happen for you to get the bag, it should happen for me to be able to release you without having to pay you the rest of your bag, if that is the case. It is what it is, drunk. I'm like, I just sit up and break it, and it'd be the same reason. It goes both ways. Like if you sit up and if you come to me and you're deserving of that, and it's possible, then we can make you can pay you. But it has to be possible because in state is I have to run the team. I can't just sit up and pay. You're one player at the point, so I have to run the team. Like, but when if you can wait to get it, then we'll make it work. But if you sit up and come to me like players that ask to sign franchise tags, they're asked to find a franchise tag to keep you in the organization. At some point, you might get your extension, but you just got to wait till we finish building the team to making things happen. And if you feel like I'm not signing a franchise tag because y'all not talking about the right money, well, okay. And it's the same thing for the players that's holding out. Like we got to build. I have 53 other players in which I have to work with, and you know, what I'm saying you're currently got money. Just hold up, chill for a second, let us work. And we all know Lamar is the reason why it wasn't on the GM. They tried to pay him. Lamar held out, which obviously, of course, probably because of something like Kyler Murray. They reset the market, reset the market, reset the market. Now we know that Lamar should get paid more money.
He should be the highest paid quarterback when the
Yeah,
contract.
but the time
He
it is
should
not.
be.
It may not necessarily be because he's the best quarterback. It's just going to be because the
The market
market.
set.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's just the market for the most part. It ain't got nothing to necessarily do with his play, but that helps to say, like, yo, I'm better than Kyler Murray. He's at in-state, he's an MVP quarterback that's been to a couple of playoffs. So he's going to reset the market again. And then the next player who might be trash, but because of the market, they're going to get money too if they're a starter. So it is what it is. Debo should play another year before he. Yes,
He said that many times
and he played
before.
for my team. Yeah, he plays for my team. It is. I would be. I'm very shrewd in business. Like you know what I'm saying. It's like you got to be willing to take it, like good or bad.
Good
If
question,
Debo
drunk.
go out
Good,
there and tears the ACL, does he the value go down and stay the same?
good
It
question,
it,
drunk.
it
I like
depends on
that.
drunk. It depends. In my opinion, I think it depends on the player and what they're in the organization.
Yo, he's
So
talking about Debo.
they
He's
might
talking
reckon.
about Debo.
What I'm
So
talking about.
Debo,
Oh, so San Francisco may keep him. They might keep him and be like, okay, and pay him
he's
off of
asking
what he's
you
played.
though, as a general manager, he's asking you if Debo go out there and tears his ACL, as you being a general manager, does his value go down or stay the same? You're the
No,
general manager for the 49ers.
I'll be
Does it
willing to
does
pay him to stay there.
with the torn ACL?
Yeah, because he's gonna come back. He's coming back.
Is he gonna come back as the same? But his value, do you feel like he's gonna come back the same as with a torn ACL as the Debo he was?
In his case, he's on his last year, so you had no choice. You have to make it. I would have to make a decision, or I'm going to let him go, or I'm going to pay him what he would be getting with his next year, which would be roughly about 20 million, maybe. So for whatever the contract, so he would get that money, or I had to look at it like okay, and then I had to take consideration like okay, before he tore his ACL, what was he playing as, or how was he playing? And then I'll make it determined off of that. If he tears it in spring practice, then all I could go off was the year prior, and then I'm looking at like he played good, like I could pay him to get his money, give him his money.
And see, that's another thing because of spring practice, preseason. These players, man, they want them bags before they go into these games. Even though these games are meaningless games, it's just to show whether or not you're gonna be a starter or not. These are meaningless games for the most part, but yeah, you don't have a bag, and then you can fool around and tear your ACL in a scrimmage or a preseason game and be out for the entire season, bro. Like only person like I really you really like who we talked about yesterday, which John Michi the third. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like this guy, like you know what I'm saying? Leukemia, like this guy's
Like he
gonna
was
be out.
good as long as he signed his contract. He's good already.
Yeah, he's gonna be out
he
the
gets his
entire
rookie
season.
contract.
This ain't about the players not playing that the last year. It's about players not wanting to be franchised till they prime up.
Mm.
Good, good statement, Drunk. I feel you on that, bro. I definitely feel you on that. That is, you're right. That makes sense. They don't want
But
to be
again,
franchise.
but the franchise tag is only to secure them in the organization. With the
Right.
thoughts of they're going to get their extension is just to secure them so that way it'll go anywhere. So of course y'all
Yeah.
know the franchise tag is basically it pays you 1 year whatever the average is of the top five contracts at your position. So if the top five has a bag, then you're going to get paid a bag for that 1 year. Within that 1 year, it should be a conversation being had to where they're trying to extend you so you can remove the franchise tag and they can use it for somewhere else next year. If they got to pay you the next year, then if they franchise you the second year, then they have to pay you 150% of what that franchise tag is for the five positions. So I mean, you can make money, but of course, like you said, and that's the case. So you can get season, yeah. At practice, you could get season injury walking down the steps and slipping, like all that. It's able the injury could come in any case. It doesn't have to necessarily be on the field. And then, of course, when we go a little bit deaf, you can set up, and that's what you get insurances for yourself for to cover yourself. Um, but of course, I know if Taylor May's still in here, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers rule has stated that there's going to be a competition. The best player that on the field that performs on the field will be his starting quarterback. Um, I know. So, legitimately, Bishop, do you think Baker deserves to be the starting quarterback, or is that just OU bias?
The starting. No, I mean the best quarterback should win. I do. Do I think Baker is going to win the starting position out of Carolina? Yes, I do. Um, but yeah, the best. It should definitely be a bit quarterback battle between the quarterbacks. And the best man win. But I do feel like Baker is going to go in there out there and improve his worth. And try and shut up all the naysayers about whether or not he
So,
should have.
do you think that should be a point? And I see you drunk. We get to that in a second. Do you think to where they should have equal repetitions or somewhat that or
Yeah,
to where
no,
they
I'm sure.
both perform
I'm sure they both have an equal
because that's
repetition. You can't.
I think it's
You
not
can't make
fair
it.
to say that. I think it's not fair to say. So, do you think it's a fair assumption to utilize? Okay, you play this quarter and a half, you play this quarter and a half, or you play this game and you play this game because you're not facing the same people for the most part in that situation.
No,
To where
as a quarterback, well, as a coach, I'm putting making sure to make it an even playing field all the way across the board. Each
so
quarterback will.
are you just going off of practice or are you going off of
Yeah,
game and
that's all
practice
you can only go off. What do you mean game?
like preseason?
Oh no, you're going off both. Yeah, you got to go off game and practice. You got to go off game
Mm.
because in practice you only going against your own team. In game you going against other teams. You going in the preseason game. I'm assuming you're talking about you going against other teams. So therefore, yeah, in practice, a lot of stuff becomes repetitive. You get to see a lot of the same things. Your own players and stuff like that. And when you playing a whole different team, it's a whole different dynamic, in my opinion. So therefore, yeah, I'm allowing in practice. Making an even playing field. Both quarterbacks will face the number one defense,
Hmm.
team one defense. They're gonna both one quarter. Uh, Baker get it. Second quarter, other quarterbackers get it, and they'll battle. Whoever did best in those 2 quarters, it is what it is. Third, fourth quarter, you maybe throw in the third string quarterbacks, give him a few looks, but you only give him a few looks at the first string defense for maybe half the quarter. You only give them because mind you, when it's all said and done, the defense is tiring out too. So
In
if
your
you're allowing that defense to tire out, and that whoever that may be advantage for whoever the second or third quarterback is.
are you because I see Drunk is going in. So he brings up Matt Carroll. Is it feasible to allow Matt Carroll an opportunity to compete for the number one spot, or do you?
Absolutely, because you picked him as a quarterback. You have to. You have to give him opportunity to show that he could outplay all of them. He could outplay Darnold and Baker. Matt Carroll wasn't no slouch out at Ole Miss. He could possibly come out in young gun. You know what I'm saying? He could possibly come out. He would absolutely get an opportunity to show his worth and come out there and play as well. Yeah, that's why I said he would be the third string. Yeah, I would put him in third because as a coach, I'm thinking, yeah, Darnold and
In
Baker
your
are the
mindset, you
ones.
go in at 1 and 2 or 1A, 2 to 1B is your veterans, and then you
Yeah,
have this person that's going to potentially
right,
in the world be your third string,
right. But
working
mind
towards
you,
being a first string at some point.
right, mind you though, Monday, Baker and Darnold are with the first team. Matt is getting a little bit of the first team in the third quarter or whatever. Tuesday, Matt coming out first. Matt's gonna get first, Baker second, Darnold third. Wednesday, Darnold, Matt, Baker. I'm giving them all the opportunity to get fresh legs versus the first team. And whoever shines better through those few days and playing
You start giving them a little
more reps.
more reps.
Yep, giving them more reps, and to see who's steady, either progressing or declining, making more mistakes, not reading the defense well. You know what I'm saying? Not seeing things, not seeing the whole field, not making all the reads, all that. And I would continue to do that. Then come preseason, whoever came out on top in practice would start preseason game one, first quarter. Whether it be Matt, whether it be Baker, whether it be Donald, they would start week one in preseason, first quarter. Second quarter, I would do just like I do. Second quarter, whoever did second best, whoever did third best, so forth and so on. I'd rather have Baker start over on Donald. At least Baker don't need to have his hand held when making reads. Ooh. Ooh, I believe Matt Carroll's the
Drunk,
best QB
drunk might be.
roster, and I'll debate anybody. That's easy to say, drunk, when you ain't seen him play in the NFL. You only going off of what he done in Ole Miss. We can debate it, but it's a night and day type thing when you playing in Ole Miss. We're talking what conference? Ole Miss is in what
Ole
conference?
Miss is a SEC.
Is they SEC? So
Mm-hmm.
what did he do? Did he get him even into a national championship game or a bowl game? Oh, I'm sure he got him in a bowl game because there's so many bowls. But Bishop, we gonna fight with this altercation. Alternation. What?
Alteration.
Alteration about what? You messing up my rhythm code. I'm just saying, bro. Lane Kiffin, bro. What do you mean, Lane Kiffin? What does that? What does that mean?
Lane Kiffin is the coach.
Oh,
He
bro,
ready.
that doesn't transfer over to the NFL, bro. You think because of who your coach is in the name one quarterback that that Nick Saban has won national championship with and they've done something in the NFL. Name one. And Nick Saban is the GOAT of NCAA college football. We can argue that. But name one quarterback that Nick Saban produced out of Alabama that's came in the NFL and won a Super Bowl or done anything like that. And I'll wait. Okay. I'm waiting. We see putting up 60 touchdowns in college.
So
Is easy.
in this last
Yeah,
3 minutes,
they all do that in college
in this
football.
last 3 minutes, since we're talking college, Bishop, let me get who
Mhm.
you think the top when the preseason comes out. Who's the top five in the college football? What's your ranking? Top
Top
five ranking?
five
Yeah, top five ranking.
college football. Alabama, Georgia.
Wow, you still giving Alabama even though Georgia won the championship versus Alabama?
Well, no, not no
Oh
specific
no,
order.
took over. Okay,
Yeah, no, no specific order, but I would say Alabama, Georgia. Oh, Alabama, Georgia. Hold on, let me look at something real quick because I want to see something before I say this. Everybody watch. Uh, uh,
oh yeah, you know receipts gonna come back.
yeah. Hold on, real quick. Let me see.
Why he gives that? I think I could.
Yeah,
So
what's yours? What's yours? Top
number
five. You said
five,
five, right?
Yeah,
You
top
said
five.
5. Okay,
Oh,
I'm
well,
gonna
go six. Go six because it's six. So basically six. Your top six. So
my top.
I would
Go ahead.
say my top six is USC at six, Michigan at five,
This
USC
kid
at six,
stupid.
Michigan at five, at four, um, USC at six, Michigan at five, at four. Oh, uh, at four, this is my second point. I'm trying to find at four. We would go with. I would go with a team like Minnesota at four. Someone that no one checking for at four. At three, I'm putting Georgia at three, Ohio State at two,
You
Alabama
just
at one.
you just said how you put Georgia at 3, and you just said they won the national championship, but you asked me about
That
how
was
I
just
did.
for me talking to you. But when you think about it, they lost a lot.
Oh yeah, in the draft you mean? Yeah, they
Yeah.
did. Yeah, they did.
So that's
So
me. So six USC six, four. I mean number three is number five. Michigan number six. I mean number four. Uh, Minnesota, Wisconsin, or someone like that. Ohio. Then like I said, Georgia, Ohio State, and Alabama.
so for me, I'm gonna I'm gonna put it by my name. I heard the list from Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan sleeper team, Nebraska. Bruh, you was tripping. So I'm gonna put it to you my five, six. You said six, right? Six.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go. Six. I'm going with uh
Actually, you know what? I backtrack. I remove what's called it. I would add. I would switch that. I would add LSU at six, USC at five, Michigan at four, um, then um, Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama.
wow. So number six would probably be Michigan. Number five would probably be Ohio State. Number four
Mm.
would probably be Oklahoma. Number three would probably be um number three would probably number three would be probably Clemson. Number
Did you
two would
say
be
Oklahoma?
number two would be Alabama, and number one would be Georgia. Yeah.
Did you say Ohio? I mean Oklahoma.
Yes, absolutely. Are you freaking crazy right now, bro? Yes, Oklahoma. Oklahoma be in the top 10 before well before USC will be.
No, that's lies.
They
I
will
can't.
be.
I can't wait till the preseason
What's the
poll comes out.
preseason poll? Is it out already?
It ain't came out yet, but it's coming because the season starts in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oh, when that preseason poll come out, we gonna have it on here, bro. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
What's going
Good morning.
on?
ISO. That ain't ISO. That's um. What is the name? Good lord. But who's going all the way? Is Ohio? No, Ohio State is not. Because they got C.J. Stroud. Oklahoma without a number one pick QB in Texas. What do you mean? Zero. Thank you, Zero. Thank you. My bad, bro. Zero. I don't know why I wanted to call you ISO. Thank you, Zero. My brother Zero. What do you mean? What do you mean Oklahoma without a number one pick QB in Texas? I don't get what that means, drunk. You better ask about that UFC transfer, bro. Or UCF transfer. I'm sorry, I said USC.
Oh,
UCF.
Gabriel Dillon.
That dude there. That dude there. You better ask about that cat. He's no slouch. He's no slouch.
So in any case, that is our time for today. We greatly appreciate y'all high speeds rock with us this morning. As like you said, it's revving up. That if you down with the pigskin, the gridiron, the being in the trenches, uh, conversations and talks, this is where it's at. College football's revving, getting ready to go. NFL revving up, getting ready to go. Fantasy football revving up, getting ready to go.
Don't
All
forget to leave.
that is gonna be ready to go. Uh, so y'all know where to catch us every Monday through Friday, 09 to 1100 hours. That's 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Uh, every day. Bear down. There you go with that BS zero. Um,
Bear down.
yeah,
What's that? The
Chicago Bears.
um
Unless he's a Cincinnati fan, which would be the Cincinnati. But in case they're non-factors. Although I do like their new uniform, which we'll probably be looking at on Friday as we look at some of the uniforms. So okay, we I can say that maybe bear down. Uh,
you say that drunk, but I'm telling you, we gonna see if you're ready. You talking about drunk daddy without a top quarterback? Okay, Dylan Gabriel. That's all I'm gonna say. DG. That's all I'm gonna say.
Again, we appreciate y'all coming out. Chuck Rocket was look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. We look forward to seeing y'all Thursday. Look forward to seeing you Friday, and then we run it back that following Monday. So, that being said, y'all go enjoy y'all day. Do great things. Be positive. Hunt that good stuff. Bishop, any last words, brother?
Man, appreciate y'all for tuning in to First Formation, man. We had a great show today. Thank y'all so much. As what you saw today is just a little tidbit of what you plan on seeing when it comes for football season kickoff, man. It's gonna be that. It's gonna be just like that. So just be prepared when the NFL, the college football season start, bro. It's gonna be that part. So with that being said, man, y'all enjoy your Tuesday. Have fun with it. I won't be on here tomorrow. Like I said, I'll be in the air. At the time in which y'all are Trey's on the show. But be sure if you feel like you come on here and test Trey and his knowledge, hey, jump on and have fun with it. Until tomorrow, man, we love you. We thank y'all. We appreciate it. Where's my frat brother? He said, where he at? Oh, I thought he's where it was one person I was looking for. Oh, I don't know where. Oh, there you go. Thank you. We'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Have a great Tuesday. And until tomorrow, have a great one. We'll holler back at y'all.